Saturday Talk Live reactions. Let's get into this. Okay, but first, my skin is giving. The light is giving. Everything is giving. Okay, let's get right into it. Saturday Talk Vlog reactions. Are you ready? Saturday Talk Vlog reactions. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So this one has already given us a disclaimer. She says she wants mature advice only. Mature advice only. You know what that means, my people. My people. My people. My people. Mature advice only. Okay. Dear mother. Okay, help. I don't even know where to start from. Sharing this story is a bit awkward and I'm embarrassed, but I need some help. I need mature advice because this is a for life type of situation. Okay, girl. I have been dating this guy for 2 years. Mother, I will not even hide. When I was younger, I was for the streets. I had my share of fun. I enjoyed meeting different men and doing different things with them. And as much as that was fun, I wrote in my vision board that I needed to be serious and find me a man to settle down with. She got into her vision board, yo. She was like, I am going to vision board my life and I'm going to find myself a man because it is time to settle down. And if she is from Lusaka, I do not blame her because these streets are not loyal. I think I'm not picky when it comes to men. I appreciate men and I love them. And I was not really looking for looks or money. Good on you, girl. Luckily, I was able to meet someone through mutual friends who I clicked with. We spent time together, we started dating, and things started to escalate fast. Ooh. My man is not bad looking. He is smaller than the men I usually go for. A little light-skinned and very calm in nature. I won't lie. At first, the sexual chemistry was not there, but the more we spent time together and hung out, I actually found myself falling for him. I keep on falling. I was embarrassed because as much as he was into me, he always seemed not to like being intimate with me. He claimed that we should take things slow so that we can get to know each other. Looking at my past and adventurous spirit, I decided to give the man a chance and also take things slow. I don't know. I'm already picking a red flag somewhere there. I think it's okay to be in a relationship and you're not intimate with someone. I think it also helps you get to know a person. So if somebody's trying to date you and they don't want to be intimate, you have to have that conversation. So you can decide to go through with it or you don't. But the most important thing you have to do is communicate. I'm glad that they communicated and he said, let's take things slow. And sister girl here said, yes, we're going to get things slow. Mother, we were not intimate for 6 months. We used to do everything. We used to cuddle, watch movies, go for walks, and hang out with friends. I've never been in such a relationship, and a part of me was grateful to be with a man who respected me, enjoyed my company, and just wanted to see me happy. Okay. I think you can be in a relationship with somebody who wants to rip your clothes apart, but still respect you. I don't think men who are intimate in relationships do not respect their women. I think it's part of the fun and it's part of the ride. So, girl, let me tell you something. Just because he's ripping your clothes off does not mean that he does not respect you. But let's get into the tea. However, this took a toll on me mentally because a part of me likes to test the waters. And dating for that long with no bang bang was new territory. Bang bang. By the 8th month, I decided to just confront him. Good, communicate, girl. And ask how long this relationship was going to stay like this. We kissed a lot and occasionally he did some over the shirt action, but it never got to the intimate parts. So you're saying that you used to kiss and do what, so you were doing like first base, second base, but not really a third base, okay? After the confrontation, he agreed for us to cross the other line. I told him that we should only do it if he was ready And he said he was. I appreciate that she asked him that, because consent goes both ways. It's not just women who have to give consent. Men also need to give consent. This thing of saying that consent is only for women is wrong. Consent is also for men. Men also have the rights to their bodies. Why am I speaking like this? But it's the truth. Men have the rights to their bodies. And as women, we should also appreciate and respect the boundaries that men put in our lives. I mean, it's true. It's true. It's true. Let's go on. When I tell you that I was excited that day, I went to do my hair, my nails, got that kitty catty waxed, and just readied myself for my mans. Bear in mind that it had been almost a year since I did the deed. Of course, I have my toys and those helped, but I was ready for the real thing. We went to his place where we had a meal, I cooked, watched some TV, and finally it was time to get into bed and do the deed. Ish, girl, do the deed, do the deed, do the deed, do the deed. I can't even explain how excited I was because it was the only box left to take. Ish, mother. I don't even know how to say this, but my goodness. I don't know if I'm able to read this. Okay, I'll read it for your sake. It was a very long 7 minutes. Why do you gotta do a man's like this? The foreplay was okay-ish. The actual deed was disappointing. The things you people put me through. Let's start again. It was a very long 7 minutes. The foreplay was okay-ish. The actual deed was disappointing. The machinery could not stay up for 3 minutes. He didn't know what to touch or do. He did not communicate, and before I could even settle into the deed, the brother man was done. He just touched, wiggled his hips here and there, and he hardly let me touch him. Wait, let me read that in my Zambian accent. Let's try. He just touched, wiggled his hips here and there, and he hardly let me touch him. Sounds better. I was surprised, and before we could even talk about it, he fell asleep, or pretended to fall asleep. I was so disappointed, but figured out it is because of the nerves, or that it was our first time. I told myself we would try again. Oh, I love your fighting spirit, girl. Mother. Oh, I spoke too soon. We have been trying a couple of times now, and I think the problem may be bigger than he wishes to address. On some occasions, nothing ever happens. Sometimes he will claim it's because he is tired or that it's too cold. When we're at a lodge, he will even claim he can't focus in a new place. Sometimes I blame myself, thinking that maybe he does not find me attractive or he's not interested in being intimate with me. Girl, let's read that again. Some occasions it never happens. Sometimes he claims that he's tired or that he's too cold. When they're in a new place, he claims he can't focus in a new area. He needs to settle. Sometimes I blame myself, thinking that maybe he does not find me attractive or he is not interested in being intimate with me. Girl, there's a red flag there. One thing that I noticed after we did the deed was that he became a little more generous than usual. He started buying me things, taking me on trips, restaurants, gigs. He pays for concerts, occasionally pays for my rent, and even gave me his small car to be using, as I have recently gone back to school. Good on you for going back to school. I will not lie. He takes very good care of me. He has met all my friends and they all like him. He pays for nights out. He's not really the jealous type. He lets me go where I wish, on condition that I just let him know. You know why he's buying you those gifts? Do you know why he's buying you those gifts? He is deflecting from something. He is using those gifts to get your mind away from the actual problem. He is literally buying you, or he is buying your silence. Utuntu. Let's go on. The problem I have now is that this man wants us to get married. He brought it up a few weeks ago, and he wants to bring his uncles home to meet my family. I'm 33 and I know this is a good time to get married, but I'm very skeptical. I don't know if I'm using my head the right way. He's not using his. Wait. I don't know if I'm using my head the right way, or I'll be settling if I marry a man who is unable to please me. I've tried to introduce toys, to dress provocatively, and just take my time in the bedroom. He tells me that not everyone likes sex, and some people are really just not into sex at all. He also claims that what we have built in our relationship is much more important than sex. Girl. His first excuse was that he wants to take things slow so you can get to know each other. This second excuse now is that not everybody is into sex. Girl, that's another red flag. I asked him once if he ever went to have his condition checked. She called it a condition. But he was angry with me and told me not to overstep my boundaries. I think he's ashamed and embarrassed about this situation. It's not an easy situation to be in. I don't blame him for feeling a certain way, but I think I blame him for not actually being honest with you and actually discussing the source matter and maybe trying to come up with a solution together. He's not making the effort. He's getting his shame and he's bundling it up on his own, and he expects you to be comfortable in the situation when you don't really know what's going on. You can't help somebody if they do not actually tell you what's really going on. So right now you're just standing there hoping that he gets his stuff sorted out before you actually get married. I don't know. Gets interesting. I worry marrying him will also make it difficult for us to have children because not once has he boated in me. Boated. Nutted. This one took me a while to get. I was like, nuts and bolts. He hasn't nutted. She's trying to censor herself. Very funny. Wait, I've even lost my line of thought. Why am I reading? I'm too embarrassed to talk to my friends about this because they praise me for having such a man. They envy how he treats me, and it would be difficult to explain the reason why I want to split up. I know people say sex is just a small part of the cake, especially since he is there for me emotionally and financially. He provides even without me asking, and that is quite a plus. Considered I am now back in school and finances are tricky, I'm considering staying with him, but not really sure I want to commit to such a man. I've never found any evidence of him cheating, and he has never given me any reason to. The intimacy is just not there. The sex is non-existent, and I can't imagine myself spending the rest of my life in this situation. I am afraid to bring him home and go through the traditional marriage counseling and having to learn to break my back for someone who has very little interest in sex. I hinted to my aunt about this problem, but she told me that some of these things can be sorted once we get married through counseling and prayers. I want to show my man love in different ways, and I want to enter my marriage satisfied in all aspects. I do not wish to cheat on him, but the thoughts have been running through my head. Mother, what should I do? Should I say yes to the proposal, or should I say no and take my chances somewhere? I really love this guy and want things to work out, but I'm not entering a marriage orgasmless. And that is the end of the read. Okay. You people, Why are you going through the most in these relationships? Why are women going through the most in these relationships? Let's get down to it. Let me start by saying this. Girl, there are a lot of red flags in this situation. I don't know if you don't want to see them, or I don't know if you do not want to confront them, but the truth of the matter is that the red flags are there. There are a lot of big red flags, and I'll tell you something. First of all, it's very romantic when a man says, let's take this slow, especially when you're a woman and you feel like every man is after me, and you yourself, you said you're for the streets, so you know what I'm talking about. So it's actually different and interesting that you're getting into a relationship, and when you entered your relationship, your man was like, let's take it slow. But the problem is that taking it slow was introduced as a way of deception. He was deceiving you, and I'll tell you why. The second thing is, after 8 months of dating, you finally say like, bruh, what are we going to do? How are we going to navigate this? And then he says that, let's finally do it. And you're happy, you go to the salon, you do your hair, you wax the kitty catty, as you called it, and next thing you know, it's time to do the deed, and there's just one small problem. He can't seem to find north. He can't seem to raise it up. He can't seem to lift it up. He can't seem to go higher. There's a problem there. And I believe that for men, sometimes it's possible that when you do it the first time, maybe you're nervous, it's a new relationship, you don't understand each other's bodies, or you're just anxious. Sometimes these things happen. I don't think you should judge any man when he fails to get it up the one time. But when it becomes a pattern, guys, one time, 2 times, many times, and then he comes up with excuses. It's too cold, I can't focus, I'm in a new environment. Those are serious red flags. And then after you did the deed, what actually shooketh me is the fact that he became way more generous to you. He started paying for your rent, taking you out, taking you for gigs and concerts with your friends. What you need to observe is that this man is now manipulating you. He is trying to use his financial stability to hide the elephant in the room, to admit that he's a problem. Because from what he's doing and what you have said, I think a part of me feels like this man is a repeat offender. He's done this before. He has done this with other women, probably in other relationships. He's gone through the same problem. What he is doing is using money to hide the truth, and also hide the fact that he has a big medical problem. That one, he was probably told about and he knows what it is. Or 2, he is too embarrassed to talk about it with you. Or he's too embarrassed to go seek help because he thinks as a man it's going to get better. Now the problem is that this man, he told you to take it slow for 6 months, not because he valued and appreciated you, but because he was doing it to elongate him having to reveal his secret. Okay. Then the second thing is that when he finally did it, he started spoiling you rotten, rubbish, taking you to different places, you enjoying having the time of your life. But the truth of the matter is, he is hiding. And the worst part is that he is also not open to trying new things. You said you dress, what's the word? Provocatively. You've tried to introduce toys, and maybe he is, and now he is telling you that not everybody is into like sex in relationships. That's another red flag, because this excuse is different from the first one of let's take it slow and get to know each other. I think, girl, there are a lot of red flags that I think you are trying to ignore. Even the fact that you're actually considering marrying this man is questionable, because this situation, this condition, you yourself, when you said you were for the streets, so you know exactly what's out there and what you need and what you crave. Entering into a marriage and actually ignoring these signs is going to cost you in the future. It's not going to get better. If it has not gotten better in the last 1.5 years, going into church, putting on a white dress and walking down the aisle is not going to change the fact that your man might need to seek medical help. Me, I think if you actually dig deeper, you would find the medical record somewhere, because there's no way a man can be in a relationship and does not want to really take, control of that situation. The other thing is, you're worried about what your friends are going to tell you. Girl, at the end of the day, it's going to be you and that man in that house forever. You are going to be doing things, the two of you, forever. You considering your friends and everybody around you's opinion about marrying this man is wrong, because at the end of the day, you are the one who is literally going to suffer, because the intimacy part, your sexuality, will not be satisfied. There are a lot of women who want to pretend that sex is not very important. My dear, sex is a very important aspect of any relationship, and nobody should tell you otherwise. Nobody should actually say that you don't deserve to be happy or to enter a marriage with an orgasm. No one should lie to you. It's very important, and it's very unfair that sometimes our tradition does not really educate women on that aspect, on how to appreciate, love their bodies, and how their partners can get the best of them. But there you are. When you're in the streets, you know what I'm talking about. When it's good, it's good. And you want to be with somebody who you actually feel connected with, mind, body, and soul. And if this man can get it up, you should probably take him out, because at the end of the day, it's you who's going to suffer, and it's you who's going to feel the repercussions of this decision. So, buying you things, girl, treating you like a princess, taking care of you, paying your rent, giving you a kamaka to drive to school. Let me tell you, he is hiding something. He is hiding something. And if I were you, I would dig deeper. If he does not want to answer, or you can actually tell him, listen, you need to tell me what's going on with you before you bring Tumbale to my family. Because afterwards, they're going to be asking me a lot of questions. And it's going to become very uncomfortable when your Chimbusa is asking you all these questions, or you're doing gymnastics, you're trying to balance. But in actual fact, all those teachings will just go to waste. So if I were you, I would really sit down and have that discussion point blank, or encourage him, if he wants to marry you, to go with you to the clinic so he can get checked up, so you can find solutions. If you really love the guy, make the effort to make sure you understand what's going on with him. But otherwise, there's nothing going on with him in the bedroom because he has not communicated. That is my mature advice that I'm going to share with you today. But for my immature advice, let's be honest. This is the immature side. Let's be honest. It might not just be impotence. It might not be. He might not just be into you. He might not just be into you. Listen, I'm going to tell you this, but I need you to look me in the eyes, okay? He might not just be into you. It's not a you problem. It's a him problem. He might not be into you. The silence is deafening, but you know what? I might be assuming. It's just an assumption, but girl, if I were you, I would also ask him those kind of questions, because some people do not have the power to confront themselves. And before you get into this relationship forever and ever, because he thinks you're the perfect girl, you're the perfect person to stay with a man like him, you're the perfect cover, you will never be happy. So I've told you about his impotence, and I've told you about this thing. Let us not rule it out because it happens. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know, right? If you don't know, forget about it. Anyway, so I don't know what everybody else thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your advice, your mature advice. Do not be immature like me at the end, and let me know. And if you really enjoy these vlogs, please share them, and please react and comment and subscribe to my channel, because I spend a lot of time doing this. So thank you so much for coming to this episode of the Saturday vlog live reactions. Until the next one, it is goodbye.